just finished up here. I got knocked out of the knockout round. It was close. I ended up 15th, maybe a little over 3 pounds out of making the top 8 to make that final day tomorrow. Had a lot of opportunities today, and just I lost a lot of fish. And talking with the guys, I know a lot of people are having trouble this week losing fish, but it's tough when you know that you had bites to get where you needed to be, and you don't put them in the boat. But it was a fun week. I caught a lot of fish, a lot of small fish, obviously, but Lake Travis, it's a lake where you can get a lot of bites, and I caught fish on a variety of different baits. I had really just two patterns going the whole week. I was fishing for spawners. There were still some spawning fish here, and still some fish actually coming up, moving up. And so that was what I was doing, toward the beginning of the tournament. And I had found some offshore fish, actually some suspended fish that were schooling a little bit. They were just starting to school up on some main lake points and things like that in the mouth of some of those creeks. And so I kind of had that going on as well, and would bounce back and forth between the two. And today, the shoreline bite where I was targeting the spawners wasn't near as good as I had hoped, and I went out and caught them pretty decent offshore on a couple places, and then I still did catch a couple fish up shallow off the bed, but that swim bait bite out off the bank was a little bit better for me today. Pretty much, like I said, I caught them on a lot of different baits. The two that I did catch the most on of what I weighed were offshore. I was throwing the Berkeley Power Swimmer 3.3, same swim bait I was throwing at Lake Murray just a few days ago, and just winding it through, those schools of suspended fish. I'm just finding them on my Garmin live scope, pulling up to a point, panning the live scope around, and as soon as I see a group, and especially if they were high enough in the water, up in the water column, then I would fire that swim bait out there and just kind of burn it through them, and was able to get a lot of bites doing that. Like I said, caught a lot of small fish, non-scoreable fish, but some good fish doing that as well. On the bank, I did catch some fish on a floating worm, but my primary bait was a whack worm. This is the Berkeley Power Bait bottom hopper, 4-inch or 4.75 inch. And I like to throw, obviously this is a bright, it's a bubble gum. I like it this time of year because fish that are on the beds, not necessarily are going to bite right away, but they're going to come up and look at this bait. Something about the color of this, and I fish it real high up in the water column, so they'll actually come up off the bottom even in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foot. And it just lets you know they're there. I catch some on it too, obviously, but I use it as a search bait a lot also. I was also catching some on, if I did find one on the bed and I couldn't get him to bite this, then I would throw the 6-inch bottom hopper green pumpkin with a little bit of nail weight in the head, same rig, same rod. It's a level 7-foot medium light spinning rod, Abu Garcia Premier 3000. And that same reel and setup I was throwing my swim bait on as well. But it's a very good wacky worm rod, especially if you're throwing one like this with no weight, which I do a lot. This 4-inch worm without a weight and a small hook like I got here, there's no weight to it. And you need something that has a little bit of whip to the tip. And this medium light, it's really, really good for that. And it's still able to handle big fish if you happen to catch a big fish on them. But that's pretty much the rundown on this week as far as what I was doing and what I did. Finished 15th, like I said, so it's a good tournament. I'd like to have made the final day tomorrow, but I get an extra day at home now, so I'm not going to complain about that. So have a short turnaround. We head to Eufaula, for the MLF Big 5 Tackle Warehouse tournament next week. So I got to start preparing for that one and just enjoy this 15th place finish.